It's time for the first budget report of 2021, and I'm excited to share it with you. Got some changes in my budget layout that you will notice if you've been following me, and I have some new functionality inside of my budget template. So I'm excited to share it with you and show you how January 2021 shook out after we bought our house in December. So stick around for my January 2021 budget report. Hi friends, and welcome to the Budget Bounce. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jen, and we talk all about living life on a budget, saving for our future, paying down debt, and all the life that happens along the way on our road to financial freedom. If that's something that interests you, then make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and tap on the bell so that you'll get notified every time I post a new video. Now that that's out of the way, let's hop into this budget and have a look. All right, so here we have our budget template. It is the template that I've been using for 3 years. It has evolved over time into what you see now, which is different than what I have been sharing prior to the January budget report. And that's because this is some functionality over here that I built into the template that I sell on Etsy. So yes, my budget template is available for sale. You can get it anytime on Etsy. There's a link down in the description box below. You can get it in the Google Sheets format or in Microsoft Excel, whichever one you prefer. And it includes all of this functionality. And I had not put this into my own personal budget. I developed that when I created the one that I sell on Etsy. And so I decided for 2021, I am going to build in all the same functionality for myself that I created for all of you. So that's what these additional boxes are over here. This one is where we enter all the different income, and it carries over here. And then we have also down here, it shows the amounts that I sent to savings, sinking funds, and retirement throughout the month. You can see 19.7% of our salaries were sent to those things. And it just kind of gives a breakdown so that I can see how things are going with that. So as per the norm, I have our regular salaries blacked out here. So another change that you'll see here is we have a line for rental income. And the reason for that is because our daughter and her family have moved into our old house, helping us prepare it to get ready to sell because it did need quite a bit of work. It's winter here. We knew that it was going to take some time. And they were kind of in limbo right in that moment. So we said, just move on in. You're spending so much time with us at the house anyway, working on it. You might as well just go ahead and move in for a little bit. So they are there for the time being, and they are paying, it's actually $150 per week is what they're paying. And it came out to $750 in January because there were 5 Fridays. So the sinking funds, we plan on 175, but we brought in 1,204. We didn't bring anything in for emergency fund. Then we had $100 from Matt's business, 220 from Christmas gifts, 300 as a housewarming gift from my parents. And then the kids gave us $1,000 as well. And so that's a total of $11,470 in our income bucket to work with for the month, a little over $1,000 more than what we planned. In giving, you can see we didn't do any giving at all. We didn't plan on any. We didn't actually do any. And then in housing, you can see another change here, and that is that our number for our mortgage is a lot higher. And the reason for that is because we are now paying 2 mortgages. We paid our January mortgage for our old home, and we paid our February mortgage for our new home in January. So that totaled $2,525. Our utilities for gas and electric were actually lower than planned because we kind of prepaid when we set everything up back in December. So with the transition between the 2 places and the way the billing fell and everything, we only had to pay $53. Nothing for quarterly water, garbage, sewer. And then internet, we ended up paying nothing. And that's because, again, I paid ahead. And then with the transition between the 2 places, we ended up with a credit. So nothing due in the month of January. And then mobile services was $186, bringing our total to $2,765. which was $213 less than what we planned. In transportation, we planned on $250 for gas, but only spent $129. We were right on target with OnStar at $21. We had $144 in repairs for the Lucerne and $448 in repairs for the MKX. And those are our two older vehicles. They both are model year 2008. They both have a lot of miles on them. They are both long ago paid for, but they do require some maintenance. And so we had to take care of those things. And then we also had two vehicles that needed to be registered in the month of January. And I don't know why I didn't put that in here as planning for it because I knew it was coming, but I didn't get it in here. So $308 was the total on that. And a lot of this with the vehicle repairs and everything in the registration was covered. All of the registration was covered by a sinking fund. And so was a big chunk of the repairs. Brought our total transportation to $1,053, which was $782 over what we originally budgeted. All right, in food, you can see that we planned on $500 for groceries and we spent $699, and $100 for dining and we spent $95. So the total was $794, which was $194 over what we planned. Now, the good news is we're not dining out as much and we are eating at home a lot more, which is why our grocery bill is higher. But also I've been trying to figure out how to do this better because I have not been taking good inventory and we have multiples of things that we don't need multiples of things on. I don't need 2 things of mustard in the cupboard. So things like that. So I've really got to get this reined in. I have a feeling February is going to look very similar, but I do plan on in March trying to get this under control, doing some meal planning and things like that. But let me just circle back to the fact that I hardly ever go to the grocery store. And that's because I've been using Instacart, which I absolutely love. And it's a service that connects with local retailers that will do delivery. And if you haven't heard of it, then you should check it out. It absolutely is an amazing service, especially if you are like me. And there's 2 things for me. I don't like shopping to begin with, even grocery shopping. I don't like doing it. And second of all, I don't want to go out during the pandemic until we get this more under control. I'm not interested in going out. So Instacart is amazing. And I had started using it about 6 months before the pandemic hit. So when it hit, this wasn't a new thing for me. I was already doing it and I love it. And if you are interested in trying it out, I'll leave a link down below. And if you use that link, you'll get $10 off your first order. And yes, I get something too. I also will get $10 once you place your first order and it's delivered. But it's not just I use it for Aldi, but you can use it for so many other things. It just depends on which retailers they connect with in your area. So the ones I've used it for are Aldi, Costco, and there's a third one, Petco. Petco's the other one. So yeah, hoping that we can get this under control here as I start doing some meal planning and things like that. In kiddos, we didn't have anything for the month of January. And then in pets, we had planned on $50 for food, but we only spent $36. Nothing for grooming. Meds, we planned on $14, but we spent nothing. And it's because my son went and picked it up and then they didn't charge the card that they have on file. They have our card on file. And anyway, I didn't find out about that until February when I ordered again. And she said, hey, we still have this balance from last month. So they both got paid in February. In other supplies, we spent $76. We didn't spend anything in training, nothing on the vet. We had a total of $112, which came out pretty much just right on target with what we originally planned. In insurance, we have $217 for medical and $1,075 for dental, which you can see is a lot less than what we planned. And this is because what should have come out was $434 and $21.50, but when he changed jobs on December 1st, when Matt switched jobs, he changed departments, and apparently that is not a smooth transition at all. And so we have been fighting to get his deductions back to normal, and it took until the second check in January for him to actually have any deductions come out. So at least we got those done in January. In life, we had $60, short-term disability $62, accident $33, critical illness $41, union dues $60, mortgage disability $47, personal articles $6, identity theft $12, and then nothing for the rest, leaving us at $551, which was $243 under what we planned. Pretty much all that. In entertainment, we had $23 for streaming, $3 for HP Inc., nothing for Cinemark, and then $69 for the Marvel subscription. It's an annual subscription for an online comic service that Matt and Henry share all year long. So the total is $95, and we were over by $69 because I forgot about that. And so yeah, but we had a sinking fund to cover that, so we were good. In health, we planned on $462, but we only had $221 come out. That was because Matt's is not coming out. Gym was right on target at $33, and then healthcare was $246, bringing the total to $500, and it was $245 under what we planned. All right, next up is extras. You can see here I don't have any of the detail listed. We planned on $500, and it ended up being $2,157. I will be sharing all of those details. All of that was for the house. Everything in the month of January that was in extras was related to the house and getting settled in here. And I will be doing a totally separate video on that. But you can see we were over by $1,657. And we had a plan for that. But I didn't anticipate some of the things hitting in January that hit in January, which is why we had such a difference here. In miscellaneous, neither Matt or I spent any of our personal spending money. We just were too busy doing other things, and so we didn't spend any of it. And then in household, we spent $389, and all other miscellaneous $192. So that put us at $582, which was $252 over what we originally planned. In the savings section, I changed this up a little bit and I've consolidated it. So we have a line for emergency fund. We have one line for investments where I previously had two separate lines. We have one line for college savings where I had two separate lines before. And then we have one line for retirement where I had two separate lines. So it consolidated down from 7 to 4 lines for everything. So we planned on $100 to the emergency fund, and that's what we sent. We did $10 to investments, $75 to college savings, and $166 to retirement, coming to a total of $351. And when you look over here at our balance, I took out, by the way, the kids also used to be in here. Their funds used to be in here, and I moved them down to sinking funds. And so we have $2,038 currently in our emergency fund as of the end of January. That's how much we had. All right, let's take a look at our sinking funds here. So we put $230 into auto insurance, $35 into auto registrations, $20 into Bugs account, $10 into business travel, $80 to city utilities, $30 to clothing, $20 to entertainment, $25 to estate planning, $40 to gifts, nothing into healthcare, nothing into Henry's account, $90 to holidays, nothing to home maintenance, $30 to Image Cosmetics, $81 to life insurance, nothing to 1 month ahead, $60 to online subscriptions, $75 to pet expense, nothing to the budget bounce, nothing to technology, nothing to vacation, $470 to vehicles, $15 to wedding anniversary, and $40 to Xanthi. That brought our total to $1,351, which you can see is about $350 less than what we originally planned. If you look over here, you can see where we had to use some of our sinking funds. We pulled $310 out for the 2 auto registrations that I had up in the transportation section. We pulled $550 out of the budget bounce, and then we pulled, let me pull this up a little bit here. And then we pulled $344 out from vehicles, for a total of $1,204, which was reflected in the income section up above. And you can see our total in sinking funds at the end of January was $4,991. Moving on to our debt section. We have so many debts that I broke it into 3 different sections to try to manage it all. So the very first section is the things that we have paid off 100%. They're in the rearview mirror, done forever. And so in there you will see there is pink font and there is black font. And that is to differentiate between accounts that have my name on them and then accounts that have Matt's name on them. This was due to a request from Matt at the beginning. He wanted to focus on accounts that had my name on them. And in order for me to keep track of that when I had like 40 of them, I went ahead and changed the font on them. So you can see we've paid off $32,161 amongst, I always forget how many this is. I think it's 21. Yeah. 21 debts total in this section have completely been paid off. Then we have our charged off section, and this is for old credit card accounts of Matt's. All of these happen to be his. Again, this was a request of his. He didn't want to focus on these. They're already long gone they're not with the original creditors anymore. And so we will focus on these later, but for now, we are not focusing on them. I just keep them here as a reminder that we have to deal with them because I don't want to lose sight of them. Then we have our actively paying section, and you'll see here the balance here is $170,409. And you can see we've got a mix here of things that have mine or Matt's name on them. So let's just run through them. For Care Credit, we paid $25. Gordman's, we paid $80. This Capital One card was $25. My Lowe's card was $190. This does not reflect that we made a payment, but we did. So please bear with me here, $50.54. And we didn't have any child support come out because this was part of him switching departments, and they didn't take anything out in December, in January, or in February for this. It's very frustrating. So then we have the HELOC. We paid $200 to the car payment, $550, the family loan, $250, and nothing to student loans for a total of $1,370. The difference being $759, which is all in child support. You can see we paid $227 in interest. So when you look at where we started, $178,219 at the beginning of the month. At the end of the month, after all the payments hit and all the interest hit, we owe $177,076. Now let's go look at our totals down here. Here we have $11,686 is what we spent, but we only had $11,470 come in. So you can see we were over by a little bit, $215. And I think that maybe there was a transfer that did not hit until February, but we were over a little bit, but we were not over by 215. So I apologize that this is a little misleading. If you come over here to these totals, we have starting debt balance. This is our original starting debt balance was $263,358. This shows how much we killed off this month. So $1,142 is the total debt that's gone this month. After that's this amount, taking this amount out, $1,142. And then the total paid to date is $86,281 at the end of January. This little guy here shows us that we put 45.1% of our income, of our regular salaries, okay? 45.1% of that went to debt. That is this number down here plus our mortgages. That's a new thing that I started in 2021, was including the mortgage, because even though it's not part of our consumer debt that we're focused on right now and getting paid off, it is debt. And so 45% of what we made went to debt. And then this number reflects that we are 32.8% done with paying off this original $263,358. Now, I have some other numbers I just wanted to show you up here. We have some developments going on. I haven't reflected it in the budget yet because we're not really sure what to think of this, but we think that it might be related to something that Matt submitted last summer to the state, asking for reconsideration on the amount that we owe the state. Okay, so not the amount of support owed to the custodial parents, to mom, but the amount owed to state, to the state of Illinois. And that's because he was so far behind, he had a lot of interest that accrued over the years. In fact, we have just last summer, we got access to his accounts online, which we couldn't get to before. That's a whole long story that I plan on doing a separate video to talk about child support. But we got in there and got access, and we saw that he owes very little support of all of this number, all of these numbers, $28,331. At the end of the month, it was a little bit more, $28,365 because of the interest that accrued. So of all of that, he only owes like $2,300 in actual support. So then this happened where it's showing, my balance shows $15,550, but when you log in sometime in December or January, this changed and it shows $7,292 is all he owes for this account. And so we are not sure what to think about that and have not been able to slow down to really dive into it. I'm just keeping this in front of us so that we can see it by, making a note of it here. And I checked it throughout the month of February, and as of Friday the 26th, it's still showing these same numbers. So I think it might be real. I don't think it's a mistake. I think it is. They originally denied the request for him to, for them to, reduce how much we owed the state. And I think maybe they've reassessed and now they have actually done a reduction. That's what we believe that this is. We got nothing in writing from them telling us this, but that's what this is. So just to try to, give you a little bit of insight into that. So that's really exciting. I mean, if that's the case, if we end up doing this is $12,770. This is $28,000. So that's a $15,000 difference, you guys. It's possible that you may see that we will make an adjustment and our debt will go down by $15,000 just for this alone. So we're just kind of sitting on this for now, waiting to see what happens and just keeping track of that. Just keeping an eye on what their number is compared to what our number is, because our numbers used to align with theirs. So anyway, that's what that is all about. And again, I'll have another video to talk about child support separately to kind of break that down. But anyway, so this is our month of January. You can see that we did okay in some places. We didn't do so well in other places. The fact that we moved and we have two different households that, two different homes that we are paying for right now, it kind of leaves us in limbo. The dust has not settled from the move by any means. And it's the end of February when I'm filming this, and I can say that it's the end of February and it still hasn't settled. We will see what comes in the next few months. I'm excited for us to kind of fall into a routine and that kind of thing, but we're just not there yet. So, but I am excited that we are at 32.8% that we have paid off in our total debt so far. We are almost 1/3 of the way there. We're past the 85,000 mark. All really exciting things, and I'm so excited to have you guys here to go on this journey with us as we slowly but surely chip away at this stuff. So I hope you guys had a good January as well, and I would love to continue the conversation. So just click on this video right over here and I'll meet you over there.